she is coming out in December. Like, there is no room, no margin for errors on Alter's side over here. Hi and welcome back to the channel. Steven right here, and it is a Sunday, the final day of the year. Yeah, but we still need to take a look at figures on pre-order this time around between 25th to 30th of December. Yeah, I think this is a bit early, but Happy New Year to all of you. Akemashita omedeto. Right? Trying to be a whip here. Okay, for this final week of December, we have more third parties compared to genuine ones. I think just slightly more. And I do wonder if we will see anything go on pre-order at all next week. Yeah, the first week of January, because I believe that is the week where a lot of Japanese companies would take 1 week of leave. It is a holiday to them, I think. But anyways, we'll go back to figures on pre-order this past week. And we'll start off with genuine figures first, making use of Hobby Link Japan. Alright, so I have selected the figures I want to cover. The first one right here, okay, once again, Hobby Max is pushing out these casual style, street style figures, which I really love. Yeah, the Evangelion ones were quite great looking for not too much money. And now they're doing the same to girls. Frontline, this is G11 Mind Eraser. Alright. 26,500 yen is really expensive. Like, the pricing for the international market, for the Japanese market specifically, is so overpriced that if you get this from China, in Taobao, you can get her for around 20,000 yen. Yeah, you're saving about 6,000 plus yen over here. It is no small amount. So yeah, if you are able to find a way to get your stuff on Taobao for certain Chinese brand figures, then you'll save quite a bit. This one, yeah, just a girl in casual outfit playing a game console on the streets. Yeah, not very safe to do so, but anyways, these are simple figures, but sometimes simplicity can be a good thing as well. I have quite a number of Alter figures which are like some of their lower tier figures, and by that I mean their entry level figures, not their most expensive ones. In fact, they are among the cheapest figures they make, between the 15,000 to 22,000 price range. But the quality is just right there, and sometimes you really are able to appreciate the character more. Between this G11 and the other 2 or 3 girls that went on pre-order in the previous weeks, which one is my favorite? I'm not too sure, but what I am certain is, if you buy just one, maybe you'll be fine. But if you buy 2 or more than that, you will feel like something is missing, and then eventually you'll end up having the entire set, which I believe is around 5 characters. Yeah, so if a member is missing, like, you know, their posts will complement each other, 5 standing side by side, and 1 or 2 is missing, yeah, it feels weird. And 26k for each is a lot of money, so if you can get it for cheaper, yeah, of course, get it from China. Moving on to the next one over here. Okay, this one is quite something unexpected. Wasn't expecting this. Okay, 1x8 skill dealer guard figure by El Coco, 4,000 yen. In case some of you don't know who Guard is, yeah, J-pop artist, but he is not really producing much music or much singles albums nowadays. He is involved in various kind of businesses, real estate and so on. And he is actually residing in Malaysia instead of Japan most of the time. Yeah. And to see a skill figure of him come out of nowhere, but given that how filthy rich he is, like, he is very rich. This figure over here, a low cost figure of him, it feels more like a personal side project, a hobby that he did at a whim just because he felt like it, you know? Yeah. So maybe fans of him will buy this figure, but other than that, I can't see any reason why anyone else of us would buy this figure. But I'm actually quite impressed that for 4,000 yen figure, this figure actually do resemble him. It does resemble him quite a bit over here. Alright, we move on to the next one over here. This is a re-release 1x8 skill Nabral Gamma Sobin version from Overlord. This is by Alter, only 20,800 yen. To me, it feels like I am buying or having something from Ratatouille, that Disney, or was it Disney or Pixar cartoon? It feels like something from that cartoon, but anyways, I've noticed that Alter went for 1/8 skill for everything that is Overlord, right? I just noticed it actually. Yeah, but for 21,000 yen almost, this is not too bad of a price if you like her. For me, not a fan of the character design on this one. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one from Grand Blue Fantasy. We have a 1/7 skill Vera of Swan Evening Gown version by Apex Toys, 21,800 yen. Okay, with Apex Toys, it feels like they are going for everything that is popular. Grand Blue Fantasy, what else? Arc Knights, right? They're doing Arc Knight stuff, Azalin stuff, and also Genshin, yeah, all those popular game titles, but they're not touching FGO. And please, Apex, don't touch FGO. Please don't. Like, I can't even finish buying the stuff I want already because there are way too many of them, and I do not want them to join in the fray. Yeah, even though they are a really good brand. The thing with Grand Blue Fantasy is that once every 1 or 2 years, we see something really nice come out, and then the figure companies will go silent again. Yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy has their own loyal fans, right? And I did watch the anime adaptation at least like 2 whole seasons. I watched it. I really enjoyed it. But it doesn't feel like something that I would buy when it comes to figures, right? Character design, not really my kind of tea. As for this one, right, it feels like a continuation of their girls' frontline figures, which were also wearing evening gowns or night dresses, and then they were walking down a flight of stairs. Yeah, it feels like the same thing being rehashed over. But hey, I mean, Grand Blue Fantasy fans, you guys don't get many figures to begin with. Maybe pick out one just to add to a collection, right? This is not expensive. You're getting a flight of stairs as a base for 22,000 yen only, right? Yeah. It is quite a bit of shame that the dress is on the plain side, but at the same time there is a lot of heavy shading. So it really does help in making the figure appear more detailed than it actually is. The next figure over here, this is probably the highlight genuine figure of this week. But the timing of this figure going on pre-order and releasing as well is quite a head scratcher to me. Like, why, Alter? Why? For something that is a bit on the fan service side of things, this is a very attractive Christmas theme figure, and I would be lying if I were to say I'm not interested. Right, 1/8 scale Albedo pure white Santa version from Overlord, almost 33,000 yen. But the one single weirdest part with this figure is the release date, December 2024. Yes, there is nothing unusual about a figure releasing a year after it goes on pre-order, but she is coming out in December. Like, there is no room, no margin for errors on Alter's side over here. If anything happens to their production line, like they discover a major defect and had to, redo certain parts, or any other untoward incidents you can think of, COVID 2.0, hopefully that never happens again, right? The figure is going to get delayed and it will miss the Christmas release date, which is probably what they are aiming for. But even if the figure comes out on 25th December or within December, even in early December, unless you are using DHL, which is among the fastest shipping methods, you are not going to get this figure in December, not in time for Christmas. So technically, you are pre-ordering a Christmas Santa-themed figure in late 2023 to celebrate Christmas in late 2025, right? The figure misses its release date in 2024, or you are not getting it anytime soon because shipping is really slow. So you receive her sometime in late January, in February, and then you wait until December before you celebrate Christmas with this figure. This is probably not the first time a figure is being aimed at the Christmas release date, and many people missed the timing because of shipping being slower than expected. This is not the first one, it won't be the last one. But still, I think Alter should have put this on pre-order a month ago and aim for late November release. Japanese companies, they don't really care about us filthy gaijins. We are just outsiders. They are probably just aiming for the domestic market. Like the Japanese get it right by Christmas, and that is all they need to achieve, right? But still, there is no margin for error when she is coming out in December over here. This Albedo figure is carrying a Santa sack. Yeah, Santa sack, not ball sack. One that is so heavy that, including the figure, there are 4 metal rods needed to support her. So I could imagine this thing being quite heavy, but at least I do appreciate Alter letting us know in advance, even though I'm not a fan of these support rods. Unlike some figure companies, they give us a very dynamic pose and then they show us with the figure plugged into the base, and we just assumed the figure is standing with that one single foot peg, and then when the figure actually comes out, yeah, we have some surprise nasty plastic rods added into the package, which you are supposed to use or you might inflict damage on the figure in the long term. And I don't like this dishonesty over here, like they are trying to hide something from us. Max Factory's BRS, which I covered in a recent upload, and then a lot of Mega House figures are like that as well. So I would rather the figure companies be more forthcoming about what to expect. Like this example over here, this is great, coming from Alter at least. Moving on to the next one, this is the most expensive skill figure this week. Yeah, kind of angelic, but I'm not sure why this thing is going for 60k. Illustration Revelation Bell of the Holy Knight figure by Good Small, and eye-watering 60,000 yen. I feel like I'm buying an unpainted statue over here, and 60k is so not worth it. This must be Christmas theme again, right? Yeah, December release, there you go. So Good Smile is doing the same thing. This is obviously a Christmas theme figure, and we don't know if it will even come out on time. Yeah. Will you pay 60,000 yen for something that looks like an unpainted, I don't know, marble statue, rock statue? Never mind 60,000 yen, even if you offered me this figure for 20,000 yen, this is not my kind of thing, I won't buy it, right? Moving on to the next one, everyone's favorite emoto. Sweet Home Alabama. Sora Kasugano Yukata version by Yosugano Sora. From Yosugano Sora, 1/7 scale by Alpha Max, only 22,000 yen. There has been a lot of figures of this Kasugano Sora over the years. I think, was it Skytube? Skytube made one, which I used to own, the Chinese dress, the black color one. That one was amazing. Yeah, Skytube is also Alpha Max, by the way. But I sold that figure because I needed to fund my very expensive FGO collection. But with Kasugano Sora, like, she is an icon in the world of anime, right? Everyone knows what happened between her and her brother. And people love her so much that as a result, we have so many figures spawned over the years. And I think about a decade, right? A decade after the anime ad, until today, we are still getting new figures. Yeah. This figure of Sora, can I recommend it? Yes, a big yes. Alpha Max, their figures are great. I don't think you have to worry too much from about anything from them. With this figure, normally I said that I'm not a fan of figures that are lying because you can't appreciate the details on the body, on the outfits and so on, right? But for this Sora, it's not too bad because she is not exactly lying flat on the floor, you know. There is a 45-degree angle over here, so you can still enjoy the outfit, the yukata. So this one, this is a good buy really for 22,000 yen. Like I mentioned in previous weeks, nowadays figures are not as expensive anymore. A lot of them are staying under 25,000 yen price range. Yeah, as long the figure does not come with some giant diorama or does not have additional non-human body parts, like Albedo has wings, right? Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have a low-cost figure by Weebos. How do you pronounce that? CB. Anyways, I'll call her CB, right? Okay. Pajama Party version by Weebos, 5,400 yen. Now, HLJ did not mention what product line with this Weebos figure, but I do believe this is under Weebos Rise Up series, which is their equivalent of Pop-Up Parade or Furio Tenitol. They are low cost figures which are kind of high quality. Actually, I reviewed one figure from Weebos under their Rise Up series, which was Amiya in that black color, futuristic looking dress. Yeah, I reviewed that figure and I was so impressed by how much better that figure is compared to anything Good Smile made under their pop-up rate, when that figure of Amiya cost like $5 more than, yeah, pop-up rates. So with this figure of CB, yeah, she is going to be pretty good. Not to mention, Weebos, they make high quality skill figures as well, and a lot of them are just, works of art. They are really good. So, given my experience with their other Rise Up figures, I would confidently say you can go ahead and pre-order this one if you're liking what you're seeing over here. Yeah, I think a figure hugging a pillow is not very common, not in the low cost figure range at least, right? This is a really good buy. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next figure, which is the last figure on pre-order on HLJ for this week. There are more figures on Ami and HLJ has not listed it yet, right? Okay, this is 1x8 scale desktop girls series Winter Ringo figure by Weavers Studio, Chinese brand as well. And here we have a low cost 1x8 scale figure going for 7,000 yen. Oh, I'm not sure what to think about that object behind her, like, that acrylic looking plastic with that. Is this a Christmas figure? No, she's coming out in July, right? July release. But what I'm thinking about this figure is that plastic whatever thing behind her is unnecessary. Just give us a really nice base, maybe a mini diorama, like a really small one, like what Furio does with some of the figures, and I would be really happy with this figure at 7,000 yen. I have no idea why that plastic thing is behind her, other than the possibility that is based on the original artwork where this figure is based on. That is the only explanation over here, right? With so many upcoming Chinese brands making affordable figures, I'm thinking of picking up quite a few of them, like Bear Panda stuff, now Reverse Studio, Weebos, and reviewing them, even though these are typically not my kind of figure. Like, they are not my priorities. I would rather buy lesser number of figures but higher quality for each figure rather than going for quantity over quality. My style is quality first, but we will see. We'll see. I don't expect anything like this to become very rare too soon. The next one, this is not an exclusive or anything, just that HLJ has not listed this one on pre-order, and yeah, once again, I have to partially cover her because she is wearing very little clothes, and man, that is one of the hottest moms of the year, I think. Uzaki-chan wants to hang out season 2. We have Suki Uzaki, which is her mom. Little Devil version, 1x6 scale for 24,200 yen. I was about to say 24,000 yen is expensive at 1x7, but 1x6, okay, I changed my mind. Right? So I'm not going to scroll through the picture one by one. Just go and check out the listing yourself. For those of you who are big fans of Uzaki's mom, I heard that her mom is actually more popular than the main character itself, Uzaki, right? That is what I heard. Question for you guys, would you display a figure like this in your bedroom if you're not living alone? Maybe you're staying with your parents, or you are in a hostel or a shared house with your college mates, in college. Or maybe you are living with your girlfriend. Would you display something like this? And I am not saying ecchi figures over here, like the ones with bare boobs, bare crotch region exposed. I am not including X-rated figures over here. I'm talking about anime figures which are not customable but wearing very little clothes on, like this one over here. Yeah, would you display something like this if you're not living alone? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear it from you. For me, do you know whether I would do so? Yes, I would display it. Screw everyone. Right? I would proudly display it and let the whole world know how much of a degenerate I am. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is one of the best low-cost figures this week because, she is grabbing that ass behind her. And for that part alone, I think I want to purchase this figure. Nangong Yingtao, the new Chinese dress lady version, 1x6 scale, whatever that means. But coming from Animaster, 1x6 scale, 7,700 yen. And Should you pre-order this figure? Big yes. A big yes. This one is not yet on HLJ as well. It is not an exclusive. I do think HLJ will list it maybe tomorrow or maybe within first week of January in case they are working. Who knows? Go and pre-order this thing. It is so worth it. And the third figure on Ami also not an exclusive. Honor of Kings Chang'e. Princess of the Cold Moon version 1/7 skill by Apex. Oh, I was expecting Mietos, but Apex. Close enough, I suppose. 25,600 yen. Okay, this must be Chang'e, I think. One of the mythological creatures or goddess, not a goddess, that lives on the planet Moon. Yeah, it is a Chinese mythology. 25,600 yen. Yeah. I feel like I'm looking at that My Sakurajima figure, which is also sitting on a moon-shaped object as the base, the one made by Spiritiel. Yeah, I nearly listed that figure as one of the best of year 2023 as well, right? Yeah, this figure feels really familiar, but the colors are lighter and, how do I put it, like, very pleasing to look at, right? Sometimes when the colors are too vibrant and strong, yeah, it can be painful to look at the figure, especially under studio lighting. This one is quite light on the eye, quite pleasant to the eye. Okay, with Honor of the Kings, Chinese game, right, which I don't play. So this is a good buy, of course. Like, if you like this character, you know something about her, or this is Apex we are talking about. Yeah, they are among the best figure brands already, top 10 best out there. So, no reason not to pre-order it unless you are not a fan of the character or you don't care about the origin, right? I'm starting to see a very similar pattern with figures made by Apex. Like, they have all these armor parts with gold color trims. Like, a lot of the figures they make have this kind of design in a way. And I really do like them. Of course, that crystal over there, I think even Xiao from Genshin Impact had something similar. Not something I would buy, but I certainly wouldn't mind having in a collection. Yeah, this would really look great on my shelf, really. And that is all for Ami. We move on to Nin Game next for some exclusive items. Firstly, 1/4 scale Nikan Shoujo figures by Insight, which are extremely X-rated. Yeah, go and check it out yourself. I'm not covering them. And my first impression on these two figures, I love their face expression, right? I like this, like, these girls they are kind of high with their tongue coming out. I love this kind of face expressions. And boy, that is a 1/3 scale for 59,000 yen. Now imagine having a 1/3 scale edgy figure with everything shown exposed and then display it in your room for everyone to see. That would be epic. Right? Okay. Moving on to what matters more. Okay, the first one over here, this is an Aniplex exclusive. I think this is a re-release, right? This figure came out before. Spice and Wolf Holo 1/8 scale 10th anniversary version. 19,390 yen, coming out in July 2024. Now, this figure of Holo is one of my favorites out there. It came out many years ago, and I am glad to see this one being re-released. And out of so many Holo figures that came out over the years, this is one of my absolute favorites, like top 3, top 2 favorites. I did not buy it, of course, because it wasn't a priority, but this is so photogenic. Like, I could buy this figure and put her inside a tavern. Yeah, the bar you normally see in any RPG game, and she would fit in very nicely, right? So this one for under 20k, this is an excellent buy. If you missed out the previous release from so many years ago, here is your second chance. You don't want to miss it. Yeah. As you can see, this figure is on Aniplex Plus website, but I don't know how many countries they ship to. Maybe they don't ship to certain countries, but they do charge you a lot lesser. This is the actual price of this figure, 17,600 yen. Nin Game does charge you a small premium because they need to source an exclusive item from a supplier, like an exclusive supplier. So buying anything exclusive on Nin Game will cost you quite a bit more. It is normal, right? And for those of us where Aniplex does not ship to our country, that is one of very few options we have. Moving on to the next one on Nin Game, we have something from Native and Lilith. Characters, Selection, Taimanin, RPG, Kosaka, Shizuru. 1x4 scale bunny and 10 version. Okay, 354 US dollars, that would be 45,000 yen or so, right? Yeah. I'm not going to bother to convert to Japanese yen because Ninin Game would not let me convert. Their website had this bug anyway. Okay, with this figure, very simple. Giant TDs like, is that K cup, Z cup? I have no idea, but never been a fan of body proportions like this. So yeah, not something I would buy. Even if it was as low as 15,000 yen, just because of the body proportions, I want to buy it. Yeah. And the last genuine figure for today, re-release. I don't know if I have covered this before like a month ago because Ninin Game just put her on pre-order. Marigold 1x7 scale from Kemono Bunny Girl. Okay, this one, do you have any idea when this figure first went on pre-order sometime last year? Within the first 30 minutes, pre-order opened. She became completely sold out in every Japanese website. No matter where you go to Hobby Search, you go to Army, you go to HLJ, doesn't matter where, sold out, right? I had a friend who missed out on this figure's pre-order just because of time zone. Like, you are sleeping, you are somewhere else in the western side of the planet, and then when you wake up, this thing is pre-order sold out. And no one saw this coming because, well, for a figure to become completely sold out within an hour or two after pre-order opens, that is something very rare nowadays. It almost never happens, with the exception to a few very exclusive items, but most of the time it never happens. And it happened to this figure. And I don't know what he did, or maybe he took over someone else's pre-order, I have no idea. He managed to get the figure in the end, good for him. But for you guys, furry lovers, really, there are not many such figures in the genuine figure market. Go and check out third parties, you might come across something you like, right? And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we move on to third party resin figures making use of OzGK, which, like HLJ, is this channel's affiliate partner. For many of the more popular figures which I'm about to cover today, there will be affiliate pre-order links down in the description below. If you are interested in any of the figures I'm about to cover, make use of these links as a way of supporting this channel. Right, now we shall move on to the very first figure, or rather, the first few figures. The first three figures, I think, they are from Evangelion. Here we have a 1x4 scale Rei Ayanami from Unique Art Studio, 650 US dollars at 1x4 scale, which is actually not too expensive considering what you're getting over here. You're paying 250 for the figure and 400 bucks for the base, I think. Now, some people will not like this because, yeah, the figure is taking up unnecessary space, but for those of you who want epic figures, this is something to consider. Is this the most epic Ayanami Rei scale figure? No, I don't think so. There are even 1x2 scales of her out there which cost like $1,000, right? Now, this figure really gives me a lot of those retro vibes, like that Good Smile Company Makise Kuisu figure that came out a month ago. Yeah, this is a very similar figure. But with this at 1x4 scale, yeah, this is probably at the next level with a price to reflect that. Will I get something like this? No, of course not, right? Even if I were to spend $600-700 on an ultimate 1x4 scale figure, Ayanami Rei is not it. And with this figure of Ayanami Rei, like, I'm not sure what is that thing she is leaning against, but it doesn't matter, I think. Is it a generator of some kind? But what it is doesn't matter. What matters is whether the figure will turn out to be any good. Hopefully she will, because this is coming out in March 2025, so there is still more than a year away to go. The second one over here from Synth Studio, we have Asuka 1.0, and since they're calling this 1.0, I think there will be more figures of her coming from Synth Studio. I don't think that has anything to do with the movie title, right? They are planning to make several figures of her. This one is really nice, like, it feels really relaxed, really casual and natural. Of course, very photogenic as well. You know, a figure like this, you can bring her out anywhere outdoors, be it in city, in town, or at a beach, in the garden, doesn't matter where it is, and to take photos, she will fit right in. And that is the one thing I love so much about casual outfit figures, right, where they don't have a specific theme. They are very versatile for us figure photographers. This figure looks great, but price and release date is unknown yet because this is an early bird pre-order. This is not the final price. I am predicting around 230 to 270 US dollars. Yeah, more like 220 or 230 bucks for the standard version, and if there is a new variant, 270 maybe, right? Moving on to the next one, Dragonstone Studio, we have Asuka again, 219 US dollars. Actually, that is for the EX version, right, which has a better base. Yeah, this diorama base over here. I think there is a Japanese figure brand which made a very similar figure of of Asuka, with this kind of mirror, the interior of a ship of some kind, for around 26,000 yen. I can't remember that figure's brand name at the moment. And if you want something cheaper, the normal version, which is just the figure and a plain base, this is $151, right? But I would say if you are interested in this figure at 60 bucks and go for the diorama base, because the diorama base in this version, yeah, this thing is not taking up too much space, I think. Yeah. This is a really nice diorama base. There, standard and EX version, right? I think the amount of space it is taking up is not too different over here. So this is one of those examples where EX version is a better buy. In terms of value, this is great value. It doesn't have to be the most detailed Asuka figure at this price point. Moving on to the next one. Yeah, the fourth Evangelion figure, Asuka again by Femania Studio. The price is not yet confirmed over here. 450 bucks is not the final price, but given that no scale is mentioned and they are putting a preliminary price of 450, I am keen to think. Yeah, I'm expecting this one to be a 1x4 scale rather than a 1x6 scale, right? No details yet. And there is a red version, which is the one you're looking at, red version. And there's a white version as well. Yeah, they are giving us a preview only. Now, this white version this is not what Asuka looks like, of course, but there is something really artistic about it. From an art standpoint, this is quite attractive, even though the face is not Asuka's face and so on. This is like semi-realistic face, but a good-looking one nonetheless. So, are you still going to stick to the standard version if you were to get this one? Like, even if you're not buying this figure, let me know. Do you prefer the anime style or the neo artistic style? That is what I call it. Personally, I still prefer the anime style a bit more, but I do admit this one looks great as well. Just that the color is a bit too bland to me. Moving on to the next one, we have a cute version of Hu Tao from Genshin Impact by Thunderbot Studio. Okay. 118 US dollars, which is quite pricey for a cute version figure. But this is not like a typical Nandroid, you know. This is still, how do I put it? Like, you're still getting a full body, just that a different art style, right? A cute version art style. And even though 118 bucks is a bit on the expensive side, I wouldn't call it overpriced. Expensive, yes, but not overpriced. This is really attractive. Like, this is really nice. The more I look at her, the more I like it. But we only have one picture over here. What is the height of this thing? Oh, 22 centimeters. Okay, let me take back my statement on saying this is expensive. 22 centimeters, the whole thing, 118 bucks. This is a really good buy. This is a good buy if you like the character design. Moving on to the next one, we have an original character. I think Queen of Hearts Tang Chiu Chiu by Tian Ye Studio. 609 US dollars at 1x4 scale. Almost every week we have something similar. Like, we have an original character from a Chinese figure brand, and I really do like how they are doing their own original character design instead of just ripping off the most popular game characters every time. But for something like this, right, which is not something I would buy, for something like this, you need a ton of space for one. And second thing is that I'm not sure if I can appreciate a figure like this as much as some people would, because it simply isn't my kind of thing. Yeah. Really beautiful figure. I have no problems with the figure. I only have a problem with my own taste. Okay, moving on to the next one. Oh yeah, baby. That is a really hot, smoking hot Wuxian from Honkai Star Rail by Crazy Rabbit Studio. Now this is fan service, of course, but I'm starting to like this a lot. Of course, the price is not the real price. I don't think this will be $350 unless you're getting 2 whole figures, 1 standard version and 1 nude version, right? 2 entire figures at $350, then that is great value. But if it is just swapping parts, or let's say we just get the standard version without the X-rated parts, I think this won't be more than $250. Yeah. This is the only picture I can show. There are 2 more pictures at the bottom showing you guys the figure casted off, though it is still censored. So the part about casting off is pretty much confirmed, just that we don't know if there is only one single option or there will be choices for standard and deluxe variant. Moving on to the next one from NPP Studio, we have Dark Magician Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! Right. Dark Magician Girl is seriously popular. I've lost count how many figures of her has been made so far. Like, in the genuine figure market, there are not as many. I think there are 3 or 5 scale figures of her. The one I remember the most is the Max Factory one, which got a re-release as well. But third parties, they are really doing figures of her. Yeah. And if there is one issue I have with this figure, I'm not sure what to think about those effect parts surrounding her. There are 2 versions. Normal version, $239, and EX version only $279. So you're adding only $40 for that extra base, right? I think you're getting a better base. Okay, yeah, normal version, you get nude body replacement and crystal base. EX version, you also get nude replacement, but you get a magic book base. So $40 for this base over here. Yeah, go for the EX version. Moving on to the next one. This is one of the most popular figures I posted on Facebook this week. Though, to be honest with you guys, right, this is not a very detailed figure. But I suppose the character is all it takes for it to become popular. Okay, Artistal Santon's Studio, we have Frieren, 1/7 skill. So why so expensive, right? Because the $419 is for the EX version where you're getting 2 figures. So if you want only this figure, the one you're seeing on screen over here, this is the regular version, $276, which is still on the expensive side for 1/7 skill. But you're getting this base over here with this effect part behind her. So I suppose it is not too bad, right? Yeah, and then the EX version, you're getting a second version of this figure. Well, to be fair, she does look great, but not very detailed at the same time. Yeah, this is the second version, but from the looks of it, you don't get to buy this version only. You only get to buy this standard version, or you have to get both for $419. Personally, this one feels a bit fan servicey as well. I would be content with this standard version if I were you. Yeah. So, not bad. This is not bad as well. But I still prefer this one, right? This is what she looks like almost in anime. Perhaps I should stop being so obsessed with details, I think, because outside of an average amount of details, I think the face on this figure looks great. Perhaps you should pick up one for $279. Moving on to the next one, Yo-Yo Frieren Studio, we have Tingyun Summer Clothes version from Honkai Star Rail, 1/7 skill, $161, and this is the only picture we are getting. I feel like I'm looking at the pop-up red figure at 1/7 skill, so no, there are many better figures of Tingyun out there in the third-party market. This is not it. I would say don't buy this one. Even if she is extremely affordable at $161 by the standards of price figures, by the standard of resin figures I mean, but still not worth it. I would rather you spend more on the higher quality stuff and keep the number of the figures you buy lower, right? Quality over quantity, anytime for me. Moving on to the next one, we have another figure of Kafka, like a lot of Kafka figures out there. This is by Yao Ming Ming Studio, $190, where we have her in an office suit. I'm not sure if I like her in an office suit, but I do think it suits her really well over here. This could have been a figure of Makima and they could just swap the head out for Kafka, right? Yeah, this could have been Makima from Chainsaw Man. The face is really nice though. I love the face on this. Oh, this is great. This is really nice. Of course, not the most detailed Kafka figure, once again, but very attractive. This is very attractive. I hope they get the face done right over here. $190 is fine. This is what I mean by a good diorama base, you see. A good diorama base does not necessarily need to take up too much space. This is ideal. Very nice figure. I like it actually. Moving on to the next one from Dragonstone Studio, we have CC from Code Geass. I heard that there is a new anime series coming. Oh, I'm excited for that. I'm not sure if you could call it childhood. I watched it when I was in high school. I absolutely loved Code Geass. Yeah. So this one at 1/7 scale, $239. And given that the kinds of base you're getting, I would say the price is reasonable over here. And we only have two pictures. This is the 3D render, and this one we're actually getting a look at the actual product picture, though the picture isn't very high resolution. I'm not sure if I like the face. It feels like the eyes are a bit too far apart. Like I'm looking at the Down syndrome kid's face. I'm not too sure about the face over here. What do you think, right? Yeah, looks like Down syndrome face to me. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have PJ Studio and SK Studio Fights Break Firmament Xiaoshun. This should be a licensed resin figure, I think. $744 at 1/4 scale, or one of those Holy Grail figures. I think this should be at least 60 centimeters in height, right? Ooh. As usual, we just enjoy the pictures, too rich for my blood. And even if I could afford one, I'm not sure where to put this, right? Yeah, I do have plenty of space in my studio, but still I need to be really careful because if I keep believing I have a lot of space and then I keep going for all these giant figures, eventually the space will still run out, right? Okay, 66 centimeters, there we go. This is massive. Okay. Especially if this title fights break firmaments or something like that. I'm not sure what that is. Could be a Chinese game, but everything that has came out from this franchise so far, they are licensed resin statues. I believe this one might be one as well. Yeah. Up next, another figure of Kafka. This is an early bird pre-order, no price or release date yet. And we are only getting a teaser pic for her back view. And I am not clicking on next image because she is entirely nude, right? Okay, so once again, confirmed that this one is customable, more like you're getting a second entire figure, I think. Okay, and moving on to the next one. Fantasy Studio Boa Hancock from One Piece at 1/4 scale. This is 1/4. So $438 for 1/4, yeah, pretty cheap, I know. And this is a super low res image, so blurry, we can't see anything. But for a 1/4 scale, this is quite cluttered and messy. I don't like this at all. Once again, a Boa Hancock a week keeps the doctor away? I have no idea. You guys finish a sentence. A Boa Hancock a week. What? Okay, we have one every week, right? Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, this is among the worst looking figure of Kamisato Ayaka I've seen out there by Only Love Workstation Studio. 1/4 scale for $352, but that is not final price yet. This is early bird pre-order. What is this, man? To me, the shape of the head is weird enough, like, you know, the shape is really oval shape, and then, I mean, look at the amount of hair covering her head. You could imagine, right, like her head, her skull is really long, really oval. So the proportions is really out of whack over here. I really have no idea what they are doing, man. fabric outfit which you can cast off. For those of you who want fan service, but still, if you want a really lewd Genshin figure, there are better options out there. I have no idea why this thing even exists. Yeah, $352 is cheap, surely, but once again, like I mentioned 5 minutes ago, I would rather you buy something better for a bit more money. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one, Gigant World Studio with Runmei from Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, this character is getting a lot of figures as well, and there are two versions, a lying and a sitting one. This is the lying version, version A, I think. Yeah, version A, this is version A. Sitting version, version A, $257. And then version B is the lying one, $239. Very similar in price. So which one do you prefer? This is a tough choice. Normally I would prefer this one because, yeah, I have never been a big fan of lying figures, but the lying one is smoking hot, right? Somehow a lot of Chinese figures nowadays are getting a date tree, or maybe it is a bonsai. It is getting a bit too overdone, if I have to be honest. But for this figure of Guanmei, oh, the face is really nice. The pictures, not so much. Like, the colors are really dull, but I'm not sure if it is the figure paint work that is dull over here. Could be the camera. Like, the images are quite desaturated in color, right? So I can't really tell for sure over here. Oh. Fan service, yes. But still extremely attractive, right? Yeah, she looks drunk. Yeah, she is drunk after taking some sake or whatever. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one from Hinami Studio, we have Country Girl Carrot from One Piece, $112. Yeah. Once again, I don't collect One Piece and never been a fan of One Piece. Like, the thing is way too long. How many thousand episodes are there? And they want to remake a new one, I think. Which people are not happy with the remastered or the remake version. That is what I heard. Yeah, not something I would buy, of course. But, Country Bumpkin Girl. Moving on to the next one. Okay, with this figure of Sailor Moon, I don't think her name is Serena Tsukino. What was her name again? It's not Serena. I'll just call her Tsukino. Okay, Qingyuan Studio Sailor Moon, this is 1x4 scale. And the price is really competitive, $539, $349 for the standard version. EX version is $539. Okay, so the difference is the base, I believe. Okay, standard version, you're getting figure and base. EX version, 2 figures, plus the base, 2 figures and 2 base. Okay. So that is great value. Now, I know this is realistic face and I am not a fan of it, but for this version, this Sailor Moon, I don't think it looks too bad. Just that it is a bit too mature, right? Sailor Moon is not that mature looking. Of course, they are not telling you what the second body is, the second figure is, but you could already tell it is a nude one. Yeah, this face is a love or hate. You either love it or you hate it, right? But the pricing is actually quite good on this one for a 1x4 scale. Moving on to the next one, we have Mikasa Ackerman from Sansan Studio. Yeah, Attack on Titans. This one, the value is quite great, but I have no idea what the figure will turn out to be like because this is almost too cheap, right? 1x6 scale for $240, 1x4 scale $320. Like, the price difference is not too big that if you don't mind the size, 1x4 scale is the one to go for. We only have one picture over here. Not exactly the same as the Mikasa we saw in the anime, but still very good looking. At least she looks feminine. I don't like how many of the female characters have became a bit too macho by the final season, right? They preserved the femininity look and I love it. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Oh. You know, the problem with Attack of Titans is that by season 3 or season 4, because they're also battle hardened already, they're used to war, the female characters are starting to look a bit too manly and I'm not a fan of it. And the good thing is that a lot of figure companies, including the genuine ones, they are preserving the feminine looks of these characters. Face-wise, very nice over here. The next one, oh yes. Zenless Zone Zero. Now we have a second figure from this new game, which is not yet out, I think. Or is it already out? Ellen Joe by Baji Studio. 1x6 scale. $174, but that is not final. The price is subject to change. This is an early bird pre-order with this one single picture over here, which of course I have to cover, but there is a tape on her nip over there, right? I don't like this character design as much, right? Like, there is too little clothes on. I don't know why there is a mecha tail on her. Is she an android? She is not human, right? Let me know down in the comments below. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have 3 Anya figures this week alone. Yeah, almost every week we have Anya as well. This is Christmas version, $100 US. Too generic. I'm not sure if I like it. 18 centimeters. Okay, this could have been something made by any press figure companies for $20, right? There are some really attractive third-party Anya figures out there, but this one feels generic to me. Yeah, nothing too special. The next one over here, wow, this Anya is $649. Ah, life-sized. Wow. For only $649 US, you can have a daughter without having to actually raise a human child. I see that as an absolute win because children are annoying AF. Like, you know, I've never liked children, especially like an introvert like me who wants to chill in a cafe, in Coffee Bean or Starbucks. Like, I'm doing some work on my laptop and then a family will bring in children and the children will be super unruly and making a peaceful place super noisy to work in, right? But in those scenarios, I'm not blaming the children, you see. It is the parents. I think parenting is at fault. But still, because of various not so happy incidents involving children, like handling them, which is also a part of my job. Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about them. So, $649 for life-sized Anya. I wanted to make a very dark joke, but not appropriate for a 5 or 6 year old child, I suppose. Is it castable? No, she doesn't have to be. I mean, this is a child, right? I can make much darker humor than this, really. Moving on to the third Anya figure, BYB Studio, Anya and Bond for $88. Now, this is more like it. This is very nice for $88. Was it Mega House or Bandai? I think that is Mega House, where there is this scale figure of Anya sleeping, and then she is sleeping on Bond, lying around her. This is a very similar figure, and I'm not sure if the sleeping Anya is more adorable or this one is more better, but they both look great. And for $88, this is not a bad purchase at all. This is a nice figure of Anya. Okay, moving on to the next one. I think this is the best resin figure this week. Blooming Lily Studio Azulane Shinano for $349. Wow, 1x4 scale. If this is $349 for 1x4 scale, should I consider one? Yes, this is the actual price. It is not early bird pricing or anything. 1x6 scale is $259. 1x4 scale is $349. This is good value. This is really good value, man. I don't really want to click on the pictures for you know why reasons, right? She is barely wearing anything. So go and check out the figure yourself. I think this is a good purchase. Seriously, if Blooming Lily Studio can get the figure done right, you need to remember she has like how many tails behind her. In 1x4 scale, $349 is good value. Even though if there is one thing I don't like about this figure, yeah, the color scheme. The colors are very bland on this one, very monotonous, but for $349, maybe I'm willing to give it a slip over here. I can overlook that, right? And the last resin figure for today, like unpainted prototype. Anyways, Imagination Studio Genshin Impact Raiden Shogun. And I have no idea what they're trying to do over here. This is crazy, man. Ah, okay. So she is summoning something, and this huge monster is included as the base. Now this thing is going to be massive for sure, and it is no wonder they are putting the initial price at $700. Not like you can pay for it anyway, but a deposit alone is $200, which is rough, but if Imagination Studio can get this done correctly, done right, yeah, this should be the most epic figure of Raiden Shogun at 1/6 scale. Can't be 1/4, no way. Right? Ooh. This thing is taking up too much space though. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week, 25th to 30th December 2023, end of the year. Which figure will you pre-order this week? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.